And this is Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Slick.
And I'm Justin.
And we are the show that talks about computers,
technology,
and the internet, video games, porn.
Hey.
What?
No, we were just talking about that as an idea. Wasn't that we were really doing that?
I had all the websites pulled up, too.
Oh, you had pulled up all the websites. Great. It's only for research, dear. Have you ever had that happen?
Content from another show I do.
Yeah. Have you ever had that happen where a friend sends you, wait, what was that, Slick? Something about another show?
It's a side project that I've been doing for a while.
I'm wondering, have you ever had that happen where, somebody sends you a link and you don't know what it is and you're at work and you just, okay, I'll click on it. And you click on it and it's something you really shouldn't be clicking on at the office?
Absolutely. I've learned that the hard way. That's why if I don't know what it is, I just don't click on it until I get home.
You see, people who send links need to know the NSFW rule, which is not safe for work. And if you ever see that in an email and you don't know what it means, it's not safe for work. NSFW. You got to send that if you're sending something that could get somebody in trouble.
The question is, though, really, why do you need to be sending that kind of stuff at work? If you got something that's NSFW, take the moment, log into your personal email account, and send it to their personal email account. Sending this stuff through work email, it's bound to get shown up somewhere. Yeah. It's bound to accidentally get sent to all. So bad things will happen to good people.
I think there's probably a misconception that you think just because your email is at work and it's addressed to you that nobody else is looking at it. There's a lot of companies out there that use catching software, and they actually will. You think, oh, nobody's going to read my mail. They might look through your email.
Wrong again, sir.
Yeah. So they might just do that. Well, you're an IT guy. We won't ask you on your secrets there, Justin. But, I mean, I work in a company where I'm told that they read your email. I mean, they say, hey, we read your email, just so you know it. If you're on Facebook, the company can do a screen capture of your Facebook account. So, I mean, and I've noticed sometimes that one of my jobs in a big radio corporation I work for, I will be online on Facebook. It just starts to slow down for a second, and then it speeds back up. And I'm thinking, that's because they're getting a screen cap.
Wow.
Stay off Facebook when at work.
Yeah.
They deny it.
All right.
I'm sure they do.
We need to introduce ourselves we have some new listeners now, WLMN Radio in Grafton, West Virginia. I want to thank them for tuning in to our first kind of our flagship show of Tech Talk Radio. But what they are, they're a what's called an LPFM, which is a low power FM. And they've got a pretty good lineup of shows that you can hear throughout the week and on weekends. And I mean, it's really what radio was really, I want to say, all about. It's about, broadcasting. It's about providing information. It's providing fun. A lot of people like public radio. It's kind of a different form of public radio, and in its best form, it's a hobby. It's kind of fun to do, but they actually have a frequency. And they're on FM, and for people in a specific area, they'll be able to listen to the station or via the internet here 24/7. And not unlike the project we're involved with RadioExiles.com, which is a bunch of jocks. Although that would not make it on the airwaves because there is no FCC guidance on that one, but there is on this one.
This language is just a tad salty on
a tad. I've heard things that would make my mom.
You make sailors like myself embarrassed.
Absolutely, Mr. Former Navy guy would be embarrassed. I've heard stuff that would make my mom's hair curl.
Oh, my mom never hears my shows on Radio Exiles.
It's funny because a lot of broadcasters got involved in it, and as soon as somebody came to them and said, well, you don't get paid for it, but you could do a show every week, and it'll be kind of exciting, some of them were like, well, I don't know. When I was doing radio, I was making $50,000 a year. Now you're asking me to do something for free. And then they'd say, you can say whatever you want. I'm in.
Sold.
That's what it was all about.
You had me at anything.
Exactly. For the purpose of who we are, My name is Andy Taylor. I'm a radio disc jockey. Been doing this for 20 plus years. Started Tech Talk Radio with Mike O'Brien, who is now living in the Philippines, and just sent me some pictures from Hong Kong Disney. And I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. But he said the funny thing about Hong Kong Disney, he said there's not really very many rides there. It's a lot of shows. And it's funny how you go to different areas of the world and you see, people that do shows instead of going on the rides is one of the big things. But anyway, Mike is there. Bill Grace, who also did the show, lives out in Virginia of all places, and checks in once in a while. But the show transformed when I came out to Tucson to Tech Talk Radio. But we've been around since 1996, written up in the book Online Broadcasting Power. We were one of the first to broadcast, at least in our market, using all forms of media, using real audio, using Shoutcast, using Winamp Shoutcast, using Windows Media, and even the Mac format. So it's kind of neat. Also one of the first... Did I hear snoring? Also one of the first... I'm talking about us now. Come on. Also one of the first...
He's talking here.
One of the first to use video in the Tucson market for broadcasting. So, and we've had different radio hosts. Justin has been one of our radio hosts on the terrestrial airwaves that we've been broadcasting.
I was the first one in Tucson there with you.
I think, you know what? I think you were. You and Randy Malik.
Yeah, it started with, remember, I was your producer for when we first brought the show to air, and then I left for the military.
Absolutely. And I remember I had that interview with the Navy Secret Service or whatever they're called coming in to interview me about you. That was a lot of fun. You had to take me into a... They didn't tell me what was going on. They just said...
What's funny about that?
You come sit in the conference room.
Yeah. Yeah, and you always think that you're going to get the guy that shows up in the black suit and black glasses and ends up being some guy that's like 85 years old and walks with a cane.
No, these two were young guys, looked like they were strapping, weapons, and they called me into a room, and I thought, uh-oh, what did I do?
Uh-oh.
But anyway.
This was a job interview? What was this?
It was for Justin's clearing for Navy to, they have to do they do a background.
Background check.
Yeah, so,
So they asked you about his background?
Shut up, Slick.
I gave him a stellar review. All right.
Yeah, I know you didn't tell him everything. I just know it.
Yeah. Right. Slick is crying. You can't see you, Slick, but he is crying right now, laughing.
All right, now,
Crazy.
Also with the show is Slick, who's been with the show since our days at KNST, who actually worked at KNST it was a Clear Channel station here in the market, and was in the promotion sense. And I remember I'd run into you in the hallway, and I'd think, oh my God, this guy he knows his stuff. He's pretty cool. You even won something from us. You won your Palm TX from us when we were doing the show there. Me and Randy brought him into the show, and then eventually sent Randy on his way. Well, no, Randy was going to too many Nebraska games and couldn't do the show, so it was Slick. And then Slick, tell us a little bit about you, so people listening on WLM know a little bit about Slick.
Well, let's see. I've been around since 1961. No, sorry, it's too far back.
Yeah, too far back.
See, I started radio in West Germany. That's right, everybody. West Germany. Look it up. AFN, American Forces Network. And then went to college, and then ran out of money, and then turned pro, if you will, because I was in demand. And then, let's see, radio in, Tucson, Phoenix, Denver, Milwaukee. I get fired from a lot of places. So, yeah, I've been around a little bit.
Nice. And then now you've worked in technology, though, for a long time, actually getting a background at Microsoft, working with a company that did its tech support.
Yeah, I worked for AOL for a couple of weeks, got sick, and they put me on the street, which was kind of strange, but it was good in a good way, I guess. And then eventually I wound up at Microsoft, and just working with the geeks in the hallways it's just fun. There's nothing like it. It's actually like working at a radio station with real jocks. You know what I mean? It's nothing like it. I would go back in a minute. It's much, huh?
You were in geek heaven.
Oh, nerd geek heaven, nerd / geek heaven, absolutely, yeah, and still network closely with a lot of these people to it. And I'm working with the people now that I used to work with at Microsoft, doing some computer repair stuff for the military.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Right now, you do work on a military base. We won't say which one, but you work on a military base, providing tech support for the residents that live on that base. We don't think, we don't know. If you've never been on a base before, and I've been on the base, we don't know what kind of life lives in there. And you think people just live there, but no, they can shop, they can get their gas, they can do all of this stuff. All happens right on base.
It's its own island, so that if it ever goes down.
Yeah, they take care of it. All right, now, Justin, let's talk a little bit about you and your background. Now, you went into the Navy, and now you're in television.
So started in radio in '99. Was a producer for a couple AM talk shows. Joined up with Andy, and then 2003, I joined the Navy and went off to Japan for 4.5 years. And once I got out of the Navy, I came back to San Diego. And now I currently work for a local TV station in San Diego as a broadcast engineer and / IT guy, and do the radio show on the weekends.
Now, you are interesting because you're the younger of the two of us, and we have another guy that also does the show with us from time to time, John Broadway, who was a former radio producer for my morning show, but and actually works fully in tech right now as a tech company in Texas. You are in San Diego. Slick is in another part of town here in Tucson, where we broadcast from, and of course myself in Tucson. But now, your background is more like you cover a lot of games. You cover a lot of the stuff that happens on the net, but also right now it's kind of cool. You're working with a Mac, which neither of us own.
Yeah. I do have a brand new MacBook Pro. That's why I'm kind of sitting here on my couch this afternoon or this today, trying to try this out here with the new webcam. I'm using the built-in webcam, the built-in microphone, so let me know how it sounds. But I do talk a lot about video games. I'm an avid video gamer, so I do a lot of reviews for the PlayStation and computer games, although now with the Mac it's going to be kind of hard to do computer game reviews. So basically PlayStation and iPhone reviews for video games. So
now the thing is,
maybe we should lead off there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what do you think so far? Using the Mac? How long have you had the MacBook Pro?
I've had it it's been going on 2 weeks, I think, right now. And I tell you right now, I am completely converted. The new MacBook is just amazing. I love it. I love everything about it. It's lightweight. It's so easy to use, and it just freaking works.
Yeah.
It just does what it's supposed to do when it's supposed to do it. No arguing with the Windows user account controls. No arguing with, are you sure? Are you really, really sure? Are you really sure you want to do that? No, it just does it. So I'm really happy with the Mac, and honestly, I really think that especially because Mac now has Boot Camp, and where you can install Windows on a Mac, I don't think I'm ever going to buy another PC again.
Really? Wow.
Honestly,
that's quite a statement.
I think I'll stick with Mac, and then put Boot Camp on it and put Windows if I need it. But and Parallels, even do Parallels, which allows me to run Mac and Windows at the same time in the same desktop environment. But I think I'll just stay with the Mac.
Now, one of the nice things about the Mac versus the PC, and I don't know, Slick, if you've played around with Macs before, is that you don't really have to install third-party programs to really get a lot of stuff done. I mean, Windows 7, there's some nice stuff that comes out with Windows 7. But really, I mean, with the Mac, you pretty much get a lot of that stuff to do, whether it's, video editing or audio or creating a document, or you get that right out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mac was built as a multimedia platform, anyway, really, when it comes right down to it. And I just, until Justin mentioned it, I forgot. In the past week, I actually had to play with Parallels for the first time. I had to go and investigate virtual machines. And it was for Windows, Justin. It wasn't for Mac. But I had forgotten about Parallels for Mac. Have you used Parallels on a Mac, or are you planning to?
Yeah, we use Parallels. I don't personally have it on this machine currently, but we do use Parallels in environment. So I'll be running in OS X Lion, And then if I want to, I can open up a Windows file, Windows Start menu, do Windows stuff within OS X line. It's not perfect yet, but it does work really well. However, if I want to, I can always just reboot the computer, go straight, hold down the Option key, go straight into a Windows environment, complete Windows environment. So that works flawlessly.
Okay, and we need to educate you, Justin, already. It's OS 10. You want to catch the scourge of another Mac user? It's OS 10. You know, everybody out there that uses a Mac is like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. They're going to correct you.
No, don't tell them. I want to see backlash.
Yeah, it is OS 10. Sorry, you're right. You see the X and you're just like, oh, it's X, whatever. But at least I got Lion right.
Yeah.
No, it's pronounced Leon.
By the way, what are they going to name the next one? I mean, they're running out of names for big cats. I mean, can we just call the next one OS 10 Alley Cat?
Meerkat.
Or OS 10 Puss in Boots?
They haven't called it Tabby yet, but I guess that would have been the first version.
You just stole my line.
Great.
That's what I was thinking. That would be awesome.
That's pretty funny. You know, and it's cool because I have the Mac G4 that I finally replaced the DVD drive in. My daughter is going to start using it, but we got to put it she wants a desk in her room and all that stuff. And I don't know. I think anytime you can get a kit, now you can find Macs really cheap that are used. If you give them the Mac and let them experience, even if it's, you know, you don't want to go back too far, but you give them that ability to experience the OS. I think they will really kind of like that experience. That's the way it sold her. Once she started using it, she stuck with it. And we're not Mac heads by any means, but once she started using it, she stuck with it. Although it sounds like Justin's becoming a Mac head.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I should have taken a picture of it and tweeted it to you guys. But the first weekend I had the Mac on my coffee table, I had set the MacBook Pro. When I was done using it, I closed the lid, I set it there. Sitting next to that was my iPad. Sitting next to that was my iPhone. Sitting next to that was my wife's iPhone. And I looked down at it, and it just hit me, and I go, oh, my God.
That's right.
And I turned to my wife, and I said, Misa, we've been converted. Dun, dun, dun. But it's
the cult.
like a bricks. I'm like, oh, my God, we're using Apple products. 2 years ago, swear to God, 2 years ago, you would have asked me, do you want to buy a Mac or would you ever use a Mac? I would have said, hell no.
Yeah.
Now, I can't not use one.
What is the best application so far? I know I have a favorite third-party app. It still to this day is my favorite third-party app. One of my first computers was an Apple IIe, and I used it on that. And I believe it still exists. It's a program. What's yours first, Justin?
What is my favorite?
Do you have a favorite
Mac
app? Yeah, an app for the Mac.
So far I haven't really experienced too many apps for it, but I do really like Chicken of the VNC.
What the heck?
Look it up. It's called Chicken of VNC. It's a VNC app.
All right.
To allow you to connect remotely to computers and all that. But yeah, it's called Chicken of the VNC, and it's really well laid out, really easy to use, and it's amazing.
It's amazing to use.
See, that sounds like an Apple app.
Yeah, Chicken of the VNC. What about now, Slick?
Also, I really like the way Office 2011 for the Mac is designed. Even though it's the same Office 2011 as on a Windows, it is completely different. It is designed completely different, and I love the new layout of Office 2011 for Mac.
I haven't even seen 2010. I'm still into the 2007 world.
Get with the times, bro.
Yeah, actually, Gloria wants me, and Gloria's my wife, wants me to actually set up her computer. I built her a new computer with, and there is no Office application on there, so I was going to put Open Office, and she said, well, I want Word and all that stuff. And I said, well, it's the same thing. You know, I mean, basically you can save as a Word doc, but, you know, you try and pass that by somebody. And I said, I'm not going to go out and spend, $300-400 on Office. I said, what, we can do with a monthly, which is a monthly application. And so we may end up going that route. And I guess that's something new for people who don't know. If you want to get Office for, the PC, and I don't know if they offer that for the Mac as well. You can do a monthly version, which basically allows you to use the program month to month, similar to what Adobe is doing with its suite of multimedia editing applications.
Wait, once again, what was this again?
It's a monthly
What was
version. It's a monthly version of Microsoft's Office software. Slick, have you had a chance to try that out yet?
I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. They did offer me, when it was just before they released it to the public, I was a member of the Office 365 beta.
Right.
And used it. And it was all right. You know, it wasn't the same feel as having it installed. And I guess I'm spoiled because I'm used to having it installed. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the thing a lot of people have, and they want to have that program. They want to have the disc. I know I'm kind of that way. When I go on,
based on.
Yeah, when I go online, I want to be able to download a program. You know,
the first problem is if you have to use it online, what if you don't have internet access at that point?
Yeah, what happens at that point? Can you just work locally? Does it allow you to do that? I don't know. We got to try it out and see.
Try that. I don't know if I like that idea though.
Really?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
It's where we're all going. Isn't it where we're going? The cloud?
If I had to choose, well, yeah, it's cloud-based. But if I had to choose between having a local copy of OpenOffice or an online copy, an online cloud copy subscription of Microsoft Office, I think I'd probably end up going with the local copy of OpenOffice.
I honestly don't find a problem with OpenOffice. I think OpenOffice is a great solution.
It is a great solution, but I tell you what, being in college like I am, I'm going to University of Phoenix right now also for my IT degree, and there are a lot of times where we've had, papers that are due or, research projects that we have to do that are turned in by our teammates in our group, and I can't read them.
Really?
So OpenOffice isn't perfect. It could have been him. It could have been him just not being intelligent enough to save it in the right format. I don't know, but it didn't seem to work very well.
Huh. No. What about you, Justin?
Justin's just a hater.
Screwed up.
What about you, Slick? What do you use for Office or a type of document saving program?
I actually have. I use OpenOffice. I use LibreOffice. And let me say this about OpenOffice too. I use a variation of OpenOffice. That's why I like it. I'm big into what's called portable programs, stuff that you don't necessarily have to install on a computer. You can have it running off of a thumb drive, flash drive, or USB drive, or something like that. So I tend to lean towards applications that are like that. And OpenOffice, even though they don't produce it, somebody else makes the portable version. I've become accustomed and a fan of that. But I also do have access to Office 2010, which I've actually got it installed, haven't had the chance to use it, try it out. Because I know as soon as I launch it, I've got this huge PST file for Outlook, and I know as soon as I launch it, I have to deal with it. And so I've been put off to where I have like a day focus on years of data and missed appointments and all that kind of stuff, because the alarm's just going to go off. It's like ding, 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 ding. So, yeah.
How'd that go again?
Well, doesn't it go bling, bling, ding, ding, bling. You ever had that? You ever had so many appointments that you have not, dealt with in Office and on Outlook when you open it up? I mean, it's just like, streams of alarms just go off all over the place.
Wow. Now, let me ask you, I wanted to, before we move on to the next point, I wanted to comment. We were talking about the Apple, and Justin, I would love to see if it's available for the Mac. Is a program I use on my Apple IIe called AppleWorks. It was the easiest and most productive piece of software I think that I've used, or that I can remember using back then. I guess it's kind of like maybe an old movie where you remember watching an old movie, you remember it's so great, and you haven't seen it for a long time, and you want to see it, and then you watch it, and you think, this thing was pure trash.
What the hell?
But
what did it do?
It created an easy database, allowed me to allowed me to create a document out of that database, and that database
they still have works, I think.
Yeah, it was easily configurable. I mean, now, you have programs like FileMaker Pro, and, you have other data access and data maker programs that allow you to do that stuff. But I just remember it being really, for its time, very robust. Even on my Amber screen, where I was just using the Apple II software, it still was. I mean, it still was very functional, and more functional than I was getting out of GeoWorks for the PC or any of those other programs that I might have been trying to use. I just found it to be very, 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 very helpful. So just one of those things. Now, speaking of helpful, there are times when you want to go online and you want to download a video. Maybe you go to a website and you're thinking, oh, I love this video. I want to have this video. Well, recently, a buddy of mine, George Landa, who runs a company here in town, it's a surplus store, has a band called Los Naughty Dogs. Well, he sends me an email and says, hey, can you help me out? I went to this website and I found my video. And it's a video of his band, of a song they recorded. And it's on this guy's website. And he says, I want this video for my collection. And the guy, I guess hasn't answered his emails or whatnot. He says, can you try and grab it? And I used every possible resource to try and grab this video. I went into the cache files. I had Mozilla on my computer. I had Google Chrome. I had Internet Explorer 9 trying to grab the file, this video file, and I couldn't do it. Even tried a couple other software programs that like YouTube Downloader and all of this stuff, but it's on this guy's website. So I thought, well, there's got to be a solution. Well, I get an email from a good friend of mine, Leslie Bee over at Applian, that says, Applian, excuse me. She says, we're partnering with a company called Jakstra, and they've got this new video capture program that is awesome for the Mac, but they also have a Windows version. She said, would you like to give it a try? And I said, absolutely. So I went ahead, and sure enough, I decided I'm going to make this my project. So I went to the website, and I point it to that page, and I tell it capture. And what it does is it captures any media on the page, and then it can convert it, save it as, and it has all kinds of formats. It can convert it to Apple, the iPad, the iPhone. It can convert it to an Arcos media device. It can convert it to YouTube. Can convert it to an AVI. And it, won't increase the size. It'll keep it at the same size, but that's okay. The guy just wants this video for his own collection. And what it does, it doesn't do it in real time. It goes there, sees the file, downloads the file, actually grabs that file. So it takes, say, a 3.5 minute long file. Seriously, I had downloaded in about 25 seconds. Tells you when it's done, converts it to where it's, and then it just tells you it's done. And I checked it, and it was finished. It was pretty amazing stuff. So I'll tell you, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. Leslie Bee from Applian will tell us all about that via Skype, about the new program Jakstra. That'll be coming up right next here at Tech Talk Radio. Working with your digital content has been made so easy by today's technology. However, finding one product that does it all, especially when you're on the Mac, can be a bit of a challenge. And for years, we've looked at Applian software for the great solutions they have for those that want to work with digital media. And on the line with us here via Skype, we've got Leslie Bee with Applian to tell us a little bit about Jakstra, which is a partner to Applian?
Absolutely. Yeah, Jakstra for Mac is the program I'm here to talk about. And we partnered with some brilliant developers out of Australia. They had developed Jakstra for Windows, and we asked them if they would put together a program for the Mac, and this program is amazing. It truly is phenomenal.
Now, for the end user, what does it actually do or allow them to actually get accomplished?
Right, so it's a video and audio downloader and converter. So it will capture, basic stuff like YouTube videos really easily, but then it'll also capture things that stream on sites like abc.com or nbc.com. It works beautifully with audio sites like Pandora or Grooveshark. And then it has a built-in converter with some very simple but very popular formats already built in, like iPhone, iPad, iPod, Android phone. And with a click of a button, you can set it up to record and automatically convert for you. And what's phenomenal about this program is it's fast. It'll download a 30-minute television show in about 4 minutes. Wow. It can capture, a 3 or 5 minute song in about 15 seconds. It is phenomenal.
Amazing. Now, how does it go about doing this? Obviously, you have to go to the site. And then you just pick the content and you say, I want to capture that. How does it know to grab that particular content?
Well, that's actually a technical question that goes over my head.
Huh? I don't know. It just does it.
I mean, I know that it knows to go in and grab the data from the stream. It's a stream capture program.
Right. So if
but
it knows,
if you want me to get more technical than that, I can't.
all right. So it knows this. It sees basically the stream of data going through. It knows. Okay, we're going to capture this, and then once you've captured it, you can then output it for your iPad.
Exactly.
Oh, that makes it kind of sweet. And again, it's all in one.
Yeah, it is all in one, and like I said, it's super fast. So what I've done is I've set it up so that I'm downloading video content that's automatically getting converted. And then there's a little box I click to add to iTunes. So as soon as I plug my iPad into my Mac, all my content is already in iTunes for me, and it's just a matter of transferring it over. And I've done a couple of videos on our YouTube channel. It shows, I captured Grey's Anatomy, I captured Breaking Bad, I captured some songs from Groove Shark, and you see how quickly and easy it is to do.
Now, I had a friend of mine the other day that asked me, he said, I've been to this website, and one of the videos of him performing in his band is on this website, but he can't figure out how to get it. Would I be able to probably use this program to go in and find it, even though it's say on this website, and be able to, once I start hitting the stream, be able to watch it?
Yeah, so as long as you know where the content is streaming, Jakstra for Mac doesn't have a search feature, so you'll have to know what URL you want to go to. But all you have to do is open Jakstra for Mac, click Start, and then you go to the URL that you want to play, and if it can capture it, it will automatically start downloading it for you. The only sites that it can't capture are encrypted sites like Hulu or Netflix or Amazon, those things.
Now, I understand with Jakstra Plus, there's a feature where it actually can help identify some of the maybe music that you've been able to listen to?
Right, so that's on the Windows side, Andy. So there is a Windows version of Jakstra that has some different features than the Mac side. So, yeah, there's some search features. The Windows side actually has a full-blown converter. It has a player. I think there's a Slingbox program for the Windows side too that Jakstra has done. So yeah.
Oh wow! All right, so now this is brand new for the Mac. Why is it taking a little extra time, you think, to come out with this for the Mac?
Well, it was really a case of our focus has always been PC based. Our CEO is a huge PC guy, and it really just took us some time to kind of turn our focus over to the Mac and then partner with the right developers. That's really it. And the demand has been there.
Yeah.
People obviously love the Mac, and I'm one of them.
Well,
sorry.
Yeah, so now for the Mac, would I be able to watch this with Apple TV? Like some of the content, once I've captured it, I can then put it out towards that format?
Yes, you should be able to do that. I'm not an Apple TV user, so I can't be for sure certain, but I'm gonna say a yes tentatively.
Well, if for all it does, it's certainly definitely worth it. Now let's talk about that. What about the cost of the product?
So it's $49.95, and that's it. That's everything. That's all you need to do is buy it one time, and it's yours forever. And it's truly, it's really, really worth checking out. You can try it, for free. It works 100% free with YouTube, so you can download any YouTube video for free in demo mode and convert it free. But then for any other website, it'll only download 50%. But it'll give you a really good sense of the program. We don't want you to buy it if you're not going to love it. And so really play around with it before you commit your hard-earned dollars on it. But it really is a really great program. It's so easy.
You've found most of the people that have tried it right out of the bat, they love it.
Well, partly because there is no program like this for the Mac, and the fact that it works so well and so fast, people are really blown away by it. We've gotten just tremendous response so far. It's really been fun.
All right, now where can they find this?
Well, so if you go to Jakstra.com, it's Jaksta.com, and we sell both, as you know, a Windows and a Mac version, and you'll see right along the top of the page there's a window for Mac. So you just click on the Mac button.
Excellent. Well, it sounds great. I want to thank you so much, Leslie. It's great to see you face to face, finally.
Yeah, Andy, it was great to see you, too. Thank you for having me on.
After so many years, it's great to talk to you. And again, we got our listeners to go to Jakstra, and I've also finally learned to correctly pronounce Applian. Awesome.
Thanks so much, Andy.
Thank you.
All right.
We're back with Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Slick.
And I am Justin. Welcome back.
All right, so it sounds like a cool program, Jakstra, and I think, Justin, you're going to try to take a spin on the Mac.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see what I can do.
All right, cool. Well, give us the results next week on the show. That would be,
absolutely. We'll do that.
That'd be a cool thing. All right, real quick, I know that we're going to be wrapping the show here soon. We're also going to be talking with Sony about some of the cool things that they've got coming up with their software program. You wanted to make a comment, Justin, about the game. By the time this airs, the game's going to be over.
Oh, the Denver Detroit?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only a half-point spread. I'm kind of torn here. I need some help. I don't know.
Why don't you ask your computer?
Yeah. Ask Siri.
Ask Siri. Here, hold on.
Yeah, do that.
Who will win the Detroit-Denver game? Doesn't know.
Wait, I thought you both said you don't even have Siri.
No, I don't.
I have to say. I was thinking maybe you should turn it on.
It's like watching, like, oh wow, cool.
Foiled by an Apple fan again. Darn it.
Oh boy. All right. I do want to find out from you. One of the biggest titles, probably that's been expected to come out, finally was released this past week, is Battlefield 3, which I know, Justin, you did go out and get.
I pre-ordered that.
I've got to get your thoughts on it. Battlefield 3.
Battlefield 3 is definitely amazing. It's way more tactical than Modern Warfare is always or ever will be. Modern Warfare is more of a run and gun, shoot 'em up, get going, be your own army kind of game. Whereas Battlefield really employs a lot of tactics involved. You really got to stay with your squad. Squads are formed up of 4 people per squad. On the PC side of the house, you've got up to 64-player multiplayer matches. On the console side, you've only got 24. But even with 24, the maps are huge. There's so much to do in the maps. There's jet planes and helicopters and buggies and tanks you can drive around. You can be multiple classes, engineer, assault, sniper, support, stuff like that. So the game itself is very good. It does take a little bit of getting used to with the mechanics. The graphics are beautiful. You can blow up any of the buildings. The new Frostbite 2 engine is out, runs this game. But overall, it's a great game. However, I think it's really going to have some competition from Modern Warfare 3, which gets released here in about 7 days. About 7 days from now. And however, I think who will come out on top? I think Battlefield 3 will come out on top. Because Modern Warfare 3 just looks like another copy of Modern Warfare 2, just a little bit shinier graphics. Nothing really else has changed on Modern Warfare. However, Battlefield changes everything, brings a whole new aspect to the game. So I think Battlefield will come out on top, but very slightly.
Do you think that possibly, though, that people who've played Battlefields 1, 2, 1942, and all of that may have found the Modern Warfare franchise and said, that's it, I'm sticking with that, and maybe hesitant to go back to try Battlefield 3? Or do you think the hype within the gaming community is going to be enough to get them involved in it?
Well, your example right there is a perfect example of myself. Okay, I played Battlefield in 1942, 1943, Vietnam, all that. And then when Modern Warfare came out, I was like, oh, hell, this is so much better. And I've been stuck with Modern Warfare the entire time. The moment I heard of Battlefield 3 coming out, I said, screw that, I'm going back. Probably the main reason why, to be honest with you, is I cannot stand playing with a bunch of 12-year-old punk kids who shout out about how your mother is such a street worker, a sex street worker, every time they kill you in the game.
Wow.
And yeah, I just don't like that. I don't like the S talking from everybody.
Right. You don't think that's going to happen in Battlefield 3? That mom and dads go out and spend the money?
First off, the chat really doesn't work in the Battlefield 3 right now. They're still trying to work some bugs out, so it's nice and quiet.
Right.
But when it does, no, I'm sure it will happen. But it's the thing is, you don't have to listen to it from everybody. You have squads in Battlefield, so you only have to hear from your 3 other people. 3 other people in your squad, because it's a 4-person squad. So usually, when you're playing, you get that squad going, you usually become friends with those people, and you play with them more and more. Whereas in Modern Warfare, you're teamed up with random people every single time. There's no teams. I mean, there's, one team versus another, but there's really no camaraderie between it. It's just jump from game to game, talk a bunch of S as you can, and piss as much people off as you can, and then move on to the next game. So, yeah, I don't like that whole aspect about Modern Warfare.
Well, all right, so you've got different platforms, of course, that have this. You've got PS3. It's available on Xbox 360 now as well, correct?
Absolutely, and for PC.
And for PC.
Through Origin.
Now, the thing is you cannot play, like, I'm on the PC, I can't play against a PS3 player.
No, you cannot. You have to, you'd be playing against the PC players. PS3 players can play against PS3 players, Xbox against Xbox.
Do you think people out there are going to buy both the versions for the PS3 and for their PC, or are they not doing that now? Are you, as a PC gamer and a console gamer, do you only buy for the console? Have you ever said, "Oh, I got to have this for the PC as well"?
To answer the first part of it, no, I've never been that way. I would love to buy it for the PC and for the PS3. However, my PC is not strong enough anymore to run it, and it doesn't run on a Mac. So I'd have to install it on Boot Camp, and I'm not sure. I think the MacBook Pro could handle it, especially the brand new one here that I got, but I have not gotten it for both. However, my neighbor, who's a big Battlefield gamer, he has gotten it for both. He's got a brand new PC, just top of the line, Intel i7 quad core. I don't know how many gigs of memory, probably 8-10 gigs of memory. Dual NVIDIA cards in SLI mode. I mean, the guy's got an amazing computer, and he bought it for PC and for PS3. And I don't think he's even played the PS3 version yet.
Wow. Now, Slick...
The PC version is so much better. The graphics are crisper, cleaner, and you've got 64 players you can play with.
Now, Slick, I know that you have a fondness for Team Fortress 2, and that's about it. Do you have anything you can play TF2 on?
The Alienware computer I'm using right now, this oldie, it's Area 51 M9750. It'll probably work on here. Just depending on the graphics and everything. I mean, it couldn't. This computer was not. It's enough to play. It's strong enough to play some games, but not strong enough for Crysis. So once again, my measuring stick. Can it play Crysis? Then it's not good enough.
Boy, talk about having a high bar
to Crysis.
Yeah, having a high bar there, Slick.
I mean, it's like comparing everything to comparing your new car to a freaking Lamborghini.
That's just graphic-wise.
Hey, babe, I got this new Toyota. Well, how does it compare it against the Lamborghini? No, it can't race it? Forget it. Take it back.
Yeah. Look, in my book, and because I'm not really, but in my book, either you're a gamer or you're not a gamer. There's a clear distinction.
Now, is Steam available for the Mac so you can play games online, Justin?
I haven't actually tried it yet. I think it is, but I don't...
Your boss is he going to get mad if you install Steam on that?
I installed Minecraft. Because I do have the Minecraft logo right sitting on my dock, right in the center. And he came by one day, and it's right next to our another program called MPEG Streamclip that we use to convert video files for our TV station. And so the Minecraft logo is sitting right next to it. And he looked at it, Minecraft, and he's like, and then he kind of looked at me, and he went back and did his thing. So I think he knows, but I don't think he cares. As long as I keep it clean, no pornography and stuff on the computer, I think he's fine.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. All right, speaking of graphics and the power of processing, Sony's new Vegas Pro 11 has got some wonderful features that, including a 3D titler from New Blue Effects, which is a great company out there. And being somebody that dabbles in video, I was like quite impressed by what it brings to the table in terms of graphics processing usage. It actually uses it streamlines the GPU use so you get faster rendering, faster editing, and faster production. So let's go ahead. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk a little bit with Sony Vegas Pro, with Sony, about some of the things that they're offering. That's all coming up next here at Tech Talk Radio. And I know, Slick, I know, Justin, you need to take off. So have yourself a wonderful day, and thanks for joining us on Tech Talk Radio. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you next week.
And we'll come back with Slick and me here at Tech Talk Radio. I get really excited when there is a new software product out, especially when it deals with one of my passions. My passion is videography. The ability to take video now and create features, create compelling stories, or create a project such as maybe a wedding or a special event can be done easily now with software that's available from Sony Creative Software for both the consumer and the pro user. We're going to talk a little bit about the pro user and some of the products they use with a brand new product called Sony Vegas Pro 11. It's their new version. And on the line with us, we have a special guest to tell us all about that. We've got Leigh Herman, who's with Sony Creative Software. Leigh, great to talk to you.
Yes, happy to be here, Andy.
Tell me a little bit about Sony Vegas Pro 11. It's now available. Why is this kind of really a good time to upgrade?
Well, we're offering some really aggressive pricing on the updates, not just for existing Vegas Pro users, but also for Vegas movie studio users as well. So it's a great time for people to step up from the consumer version up to the pro version.
Have you kind of seen that, Leigh? Have you kind of seen some of the consumer users getting their first digital camera, and the cameras out there can record great HD now, some even doing 3D, and experimenting a little and then deciding, I want to have more features. I want to take it to the next level.
Yeah, there's a great kind of user progression in the Sony family of software because a customer can get in at a really good entry point with Vegas Movie Studio HD, which typically sells in the $40 to $50 range, and then they can migrate up to the Platinum version or all the way up to the Pro version. And the nice thing is that the projects are upwardly mobile, so that a customer could easily start at one of the entry level products and then move their entire project up to the Pro version to take advantage of all the Pro features and benefits.
Well, now for some of those coming from, say, Pro version 10, which is the previous version, and we looked at that last year, and we're very impressed with it. What are they going to see as far as changes in maybe content in tools? Are they going to see more of the change in the workflow?
Well, the primary focus of Vegas Pro 11 has been in the area of performance, and specifically we're addressing GPU acceleration by using a technology called OpenCL, which is an open platform, kind of an industry standard platform, and we're able to take advantage of a wide range of GPU accelerated display cards from companies like NVIDIA and AMD. So a customer can see very specific and very beneficial performance gains, even with a fairly affordable card from one of those vendors.
I think you're one of the first.
So that's the big.
Yeah, I think you're one of the first software developers that has and manufacturers that have gone with kind of this open platform when it comes to video editing. This allows also for third-party applications to easily be written so that the professional can actually put this into their product. Correct?
Well, there's two areas here in terms of working with open standards and open platforms, so to speak. So the OpenCL allows us to work with not a single vendor when it comes to GPU acceleration.
Yeah.
Again, we can work with NVIDIA and AMD and potentially even other technologies that come down the pike. The other aspect that you may be alluding to in terms of working in an open environment and open platforms is with the new SDK plugin support that we introduced in Vegas Pro 10, and we're actually starting to see that come to fruition in this time frame with Vegas Pro 11's release. And now, of course, the developers like GenArts and Red Giant and Boris Effects and New Blue and some of the industry standard plug-in manufacturers are now have had the time to port their software to this new open effects standard, and we're really excited about that.
Now, with this this open kind of processor, this really utilizing the most out of the GPU that's possible. What does that do for the end user?
Well, really, there are two key benefits. The number one benefit, first of all, is in faster previews, so that the preview quality is smoother and at higher resolutions. In many instances, a person can import and use ABC HD or another high-definition video format and actually be able to preview and display that at full resolution on their computer screen, full frame rate, which is great. If the user winds up adding a series of effects and things like that, color corrections and other GPU accelerated effects, the frame rate is still able to maintain a very high performance rate, and in many instances just keep churning away at full 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second, whatever the project settings might be. So that's the number one benefit in terms of the preview performance. And the second benefit is in the rendering speeds. So when the customer is ready to export their project, especially to ABC, because that's very highly optimized for GPU encoding, we're seeing rendering improvement speeds in the area of 4 to 5 times compared to the same system without GPU. So that's really significant.
Now, with that, and one of the things I've always liked about Vegas is you tend to be able to work with previous veg copies. I call them veg, or timelines, or basically the structure of a previous edit. And there are times where, and I've been faced against this recently in a project that I had done in Vegas, maybe even Vegas 8, and I wanted to open it up again and maybe change the titles and the graphics. You can still import previous timelines and previous Sony work files into the newer version, and then you get that benefit of that faster GPU speeds?
Exactly. That's exactly correct. So you can take your existing projects and bring those up into the Vegas Pro 11 timeline and work with it in Vegas Pro 11.
Nice.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, too, it's not just limited to the Pro version. I think we're fairly unique in that regard, in that we can take the consumer version of a timeline, the Vegas Movie Studio timeline, bring that into Vegas Pro as well.
Now, sometimes moving from one typical video editing program to a new one can be a little daunting. So for users of other products that are out there and available on the market, are they going to find the workflow pretty easy to get into and start working with right away?
Well, Andy, there's always some type of learning curve when you're moving from one platform to the other. But, over the years, I've seen many users migrate to Vegas from other platforms. And, in fact, it can be a complete migration where they kind of convert lock, stock, and barrel to Vegas. But, quite often they come to Vegas because of a particular feature or a gap in their current workflow. I think a few years ago it was the XDCAM proxy workflow. We were doing that very well. We had to jump on some of the competition, so people kind of came over to Vegas to try it out, and many stayed because they liked the other features that came along with that proxy workflow. Today, I would say we're seeing that same type of migration thanks to our really phenomenal 3D workflow, and closed captioning too is another reason why people are kind of discovering Vegas, because we have a very comprehensive file-based closed captioning workflow.
Absolutely.
And of course, once they come over to Vegas, we're happy to have them full-time or part-time, however they want to use our product. We're happy to have them aboard.
In this case, and pardon the cliche, what happens in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay in Vegas. I mean, it gets shared all over the place now. The options for what you can do when you do your final render with this is actually pretty robust, isn't it?
Oh yeah! In fact, in Vegas Pro 11, we added a new direct feature where we can output directly to YouTube. In other words, have your YouTube password and YouTube username all set up in there, and it's kind of an automated function.
Yeah.
So we can do that, but of course, besides internet distribution, we have a great workflow to print right to a DVD from the timeline, or even a Blu-ray disc right from the timeline. Or if you want to go through an authoring process, you can certainly render to a Blu-ray or DVD compatible file, MPEG or ABC file, and then do some full authoring in the companion product that comes with Vegas Pro 11, and that, of course, is the DVD Architect Pro software.
Now, you touched on 3D, and yes, Vegas is certainly a very capable program for creating 3D. The workflow has really gone through the roof. Can users work with this Vegas Pro 11 to produce 3D presentations, or maybe even take it a notch up and create full features?
Oh yeah, without a question, Andy. People are using the tools, the stereoscopic 3D tools in Vegas Pro today for a wide range of projects. I mean, it could be anything from simply outputting to YouTube 3D or to a 3D Blu-ray, because we can do that. We can burn a 3D ISO file and then just use Windows 7 as an example to burn to a BDR. But even at the highest end of the market, we've got people using our 3D tools for things like IMAX 3D. One of our power users is Jean-Jacques Montello.
Yeah.
He's been using Vegas for a number of years. And in fact, he used Vegas Pro for one of his recent projects that was actually a full-length project called Ocean World 3D, which was distributed by Disney Nature.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So really, it scales very well from just kind of a hobby in 3D, kind of experimenting, to a pretty high level customer, high level user like Mr. Montello.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing feature work with it.
Now, a couple of the things that I saw under the hood that I thought were really interesting, Leigh, and I wanted to know if you could kind of maybe expand on them. One is Sony Stabilize. What is this feature to Vegas Pro 11?
Well, it's kind of an update from what we had in Vegas Pro 10. It's got some new technology in it, and essentially it's a stabilizing tool for video that comes in, shaky, and that can be anything from kind of a handheld camera, or if you have the camera, mounted in a car and you're bouncing around and you have some movement in the camera. And in fact, it's also been improved to encompass the kind of jello effect, or the anomalies you get with some of the CMOS cameras, particularly in the DSLR world.
Right.
So it can actually compensate for that as well as for camera shake.
Nice. For example, the other day we were working with a DSLR, a Canon 7D, and we were thinking about that. We thought, well, it's not as steady as we'd like it to be. It really takes some finesse to get working with that type of camera in a high definition environment. However, when you put it into something like Sony Stabilize, you could really almost smooth it out to the point where it's not going to be right there, but it almost gives you that, I want to say, Steadicam type of appearance, where it just makes the flow a little better.
Yeah, it definitely will help quite a bit, and there are a number of custom settings in there, so you can adjust for the a degree of steadiness that you want to impart to the clip.
Right.
So it's not just kind of one mode and that's it. It's definitely a customizable thing.
Now I know Sony has a great audio product out there with SoundForge, phenomenal product. But it seems like with Vegas Pro 11, you've also put more thought into the audio portion for the user. What changes have been made for say, audio editing and working with the audio in a video project?
Well, when it comes to NLEs, Vegas Pro is already best in class when it comes to audio tools, and the fact that we've been a sample-based audio editor since the inception of the product, which means that you can, edit at the not just the subframe level, but get into essentially the sample level. So, 192 thousandths of a second accuracy. So it's a really strong audio tool, and it also supports VST plugins and a lot of things that people would normally have to go outside of their NLE for to, get the audio tools that they want. We build that right into Vegas. In terms of anything new specifically in Vegas Pro 11, there are some, minor updates and things in the mixer console and things like that, but nothing, nothing really that's kind of a gee whiz feature on the audio front. We actually introduced some great new audio tools in the previous version in Vegas Pro 10, like event level audio filters and things like that. So I would say, again, the focus on 11 was primarily in the area of GPU.
All right. Now, what about the camera formats? And I think, for maybe those who've never used this are going to be looking at this, maybe they're working with RedCam or some of the others that are out there. What formats you support?
Well, Andy, we were one of the first NLEs, I think we might have been the first, to support the RED file formats natively, the R3D files. Mm-hmm. And so kind of taking that as the lead in Vegas Pro 11, I believe we're among the first, certainly, to support the Red Epic camera, which is produces a 5K image. So we're working with those files. We actually added support for RAW photo files through a Microsoft plugin.
Ooh.
And as the new formats and new cameras come out, we certainly do our best to try to support all of the formats as they come out, which, as you know, can be quite a daunting task.
Yeah, it's like there's a new one every 6 months. Well, I don't know.
That's what they say. That's a good thing about that's a good thing about industry standards. Everybody's got one.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Well, now I've been a fan of New Blue Effects for a while. We had them on the show probably about 9 months ago, talking about some of the things they do. Now, I understand you're using a 3D titler in the product that has been created by New Blue Effects. Can you tell me a little bit about that? How is that used?
Yeah, this is a really exciting turn of events here for us because I knew that they were working on this, and I was really hoping that the timing would be such that we could do something creative with them. And I think what we're doing with our upgrade program, where we're actually including this really stellar titler from New Blue with new versions of Vegas Pro 11 or even upgrades from a previous version, I think people are going to really love that because that's a really, really tremendous value. In fact, the MSRP of the titler itself is $299, and we're currently offering an upgrade to existing users for $150.
Wow!
Through November 30th. So, for essentially half the price of what the titler will be, you'll get the titler and you get the upgrade to Vegas Pro 11.
Absolutely. So, like you said, great time. Great time.
That crass commercial. Little crass commercialism there. I apologize for that.
Hey, well, that's why we have you on.
Want to know. It's such a good value.
That's why we have you on. We want people to know that this is available now, and seriously, it's a phenomenal upgrade, and it's a phenomenal new product. There's a lot of people out there, that are graduating from, we have a local college here that, they do a lot of video work, or they're just wanting to get into this. This is really a great way to experience and take that next step from the consumer model of the software and try it out.
I should point out that the upgrade. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to ask a little bit about those that want to sample the product. Maybe they're again they want to see if it can do it for it. Is there going to be a trial download available?
Yeah, that is currently available. There's a 30-day full trial of Vegas Pro 11, and it's available with no watermarks. It's got it's a full functioning tool. If you can work fast in 30 days, as much work as you can get out of it, you can produce work for a wide range of distribution. And we certainly hope that the success that people get with the trial version prompts them to purchase the full version. And that's been the case now for I guess probably 5 or 6 years, as long as I can remember, that full functioning version of Vegas. And it's really great because then you can test the software on your particular system with your particular GPU card and such, and know exactly what to expect with the full version. You know what, Andy? I didn't want to. I think you were asking me about some of the features of the titler, and I kind of went on to talk more about the upgrade. Maybe I can just get back to that.
Yeah, please.
It is really an amazing tool, and it's unique in that the titler allows you to work in 2D for kind of traditional. Here's my lower third title, and it's excellent at that with a wide range looks and styles and things like that. But in addition to that, it also works in a 3D space. So it allows you to actually extrude the text and create some nice three-dimensional, metallic-looking titles and things like that, and create movement on the Z-axis. And we're really excited about that. It also allows you to use all of the New Blue great plug-in effects inside of the titler itself, which opens up a really wide range of creativity. For example, when you're working on a title in the New Blue titler, you can work at the paragraph level or the word level or the line level,
right.
and you can apply an effect even to an individual character. So, theoretically, you could have a title, and every letter could kind of be doing its own thing and have its own kind of cool New Blue effect happening to it simultaneously right in the titler.
That'll be extra creative. That's pretty neat. I like that.
Right. Yes.
Well, and you provide all those really great transitions as well within the workflow of the project, and they're very easy to pick up. So I think this is a great solution again for the user that wants to get the most out of their video edit. Let's talk a little bit about, and you mentioned kind of pricing and kind of an upgrade pricing for those that want to try it for the first time, have never used the Vegas family at all. What are they going to be looking at?
Well, we sell Vegas Pro 11 as well as all of our products through a wide range of online dealers and brick and mortar dealers. In addition to that, of course, those prices vary. Check with your local dealer to find out. And of course, we also sell the product directly via our website, and the pricing on the full version is currently $599, and that's available as a download or as a boxed product that can be shipped out to your home or facility. So that's the full version. The upgrades, as I mentioned earlier, would be currently $149. That's a special running through November 30th. The regular upgrade price on that will be $199.95. And this is a really good promotion that we're running now on the consumer version. If you have any of our consumer products like Vegas Movie Studio or HD or Movie Studio Platinum, you could upgrade to the Pro version through November 30th for just $299. Right.
Oh, I like that. Well, I'm really excited about it. If they want to get more information, give us the website for that, Leigh.
Yeah, they can come over to our website and get a ton of information. There's actually some great tutorials on our website. Gary Rebholz, our training manager, does a great job at putting together the training, and we have regular webinars and things that he puts on as well. But the website is SonyCreativeSoftware.com.
SonyCreativeSoftware.com.
SonyCreativeSoftware.com. Exactly.
Awesome. And we're back with Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
Dan, I'm Slick.
All right, continuing the broadcast. Now, I know there's some stuff that you wanted to kind of talk about, Slick, that I thought was pretty cool. One of them being Bill Gates. And I was thinking, Bill Gates, what would you be saying about Bill Gates?
What's so cool about Bill Gates? Let me tell you what's cool about Bill Gates. And this is I can't make this sound better than it's going to sound, but I'm going to say it this way. He's alive. Yesterday was his birthday. Happy birthday, Bill Gates. He's now 56 years old. I'm 50. Look what he's done with his life. Look what I've done with mine. Can we move on? Can we change the subject now? I just wanted to recognize him because he had a birthday. That's all.
That's pretty cool. I was like, where are you going with this?
Although I did go and check out his Twitter account, which is actually Bill Gates on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I was just scrolling through some past dates. I got kind of curious, so I scrolled all the way back to October the 5th. Remember what happened on October the 5th?
Would that be the day he resigned last year?
No,
I don't know.
No.
I'm sorry. Steve Jobs passed away. Yes.
Yeah. I did, because some people, it's one of those situations where sometimes, I think in this case, this is sometimes where you remember where you were when blank happened. Well, remember where you were when Steve Jobs died. Well, it was October the 5th. So I'm looking at his Twitter account. He had just a couple of posts on that day. The first one, I think this is the one before the next one. The first one was, Melinda and I extend our sincere condolences to Steve Jobs' family and friends. The world rarely sees someone who made such a profound impact. And I believe the follow-up post is this. For those of us lucky enough to get to work with Steve, it's been an insanely great honor. I will miss Steve immensely, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think.
Even though, go ahead.
I don't know if the. Everybody said, well, it's a big rivalry, and I'm sure in business, you have your competition, and but there are people that you have interfaced with, such as Steve and Bill did, that I'm sure that there was probably a fondness. Oh, they're doing that. Oh, that's good. You know what I mean. I don't think it was all hate and anger.
Yeah, I was going to say, although you and I have not read the biography from Steve Jobs yet, and I hear there's some pretty rough language in there towards Bill Gates. Yeah. From Steve Jobs. I mean, we'll have to see it for ourselves.
I don't know. To me, it's not a surprise. I mean, it's seriously not a huge surprise that there would be that kind of those comments and those thoughts. Obviously, people are going to ask him. So, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? We saw the movie. I mean, I saw the movie, the one with Anthony Michael Hall as Bill Gates, and I'm trying to remember who played Steve Jobs and who played Woz, but it was a good movie. I mean, I like that one. It's the Pirates of the Silicon Valley. That's the movie. If you ever get a chance to rent it or see it, it's actually pretty good. I don't know how accurate it was, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like The Social Network. I mean, how much of it really is real? It's probably based on reality.
I still have not seen that yet. The Silicon Network, whatever that movie is.
Social Network, you mean?
Social Network, yeah.
Silicon Network. That's a whole different movie.
I've not seen it yet. I don't even know if it's any good.
Yeah, I tried to watch some of it, but it could not really hold me, to be honest with you. I mean, and it's a dramatic adaptation, I'm sure, but it just, I don't know. I'm not sure what I expected, but it wasn't geeky enough.
Really?
Yeah, wasn't geeky and nerdy enough. Not for me.
Yeah. Huh.
I need something like a documentary, like startup.com. I mean, something like that where you're actually watching the drama happen before your eyes and stuff like that. That's what I need.
That is actually very good. That one, I like documentaries when they deal with tech, because I don't know if there can be enough to really hold you. I think the stuff that happens behind the scenes is probably the interesting, exciting stuff about everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, let me say this for those of you who do have TV, because I don't have TV. We don't use television here. I mean, eventually we're gonna have to either get some aerials or the digital tuner. But everything we do, everything over the net. And side subject, we even cancel Netflix here at this house. So,
a lot of people cancel Netflix. What did we hear? What was the numbers?
It was 800,000.
800,000 people. If we were trying to do the math on that. If you figure each person, say they're just doing the basic at $10 a month, almost $10 a month, that's a lot of money to lose in 1 month.
Oh yeah. And I just installed the Netflix app on my Android phone. so I went decided to the account and I went, whoa.
Well, what? Let me ask you this: do you think, and now with Netbox raising its prices 20 cents per rental, that's also upset a lot of people. Do you think just the sweet spot for them has been $1 a rental, and are they getting greedy? I mean, $1 is not that bad when you think about it. $1.20 I don't think is that bad, considering what we used to pay when we go to the video stores to get a movie. But I think they probably have done some kind of math, some kind of study to find the average person holds on to a movie for maybe 3 days. So then it becomes $3.60, if that's the deal. If people are holding them on for 3 days, they're making the same as a rental house would have made.
Yeah, the whole price thing is all about marketing in this case. I mean, because it's listen to it, $1, $1.20. $1 sounds more palatable. It's always 99 cents below. The thing, whatever. It's so when they go $1.20, people go, nah, that's okay.
Have you done the math on that too? What a business! If you think about it, there's something like 34,000 Redbox kiosks in the United States. So think about it. If every night one person rents from that's $34,000. But the number is quite higher. and maybe there's 20 rentals coming out of one red box. So, and if you spread that out, I mean, it's amazing how much money they're bringing in. So that's the next question: Do they really need to raise the prices?
They probably don't need to. Not in this economy. I imagine with as much as businesses have cut back, I can't imagine they need to raise price. Even though other suppliers or whatever things around them, the prices are going up a little bit. I just can't imagine that they need to. I think they're riding a greedy train.
I would like to see actually pay-per-view come down in price. That is delivered on demand, whether it be on the Cox Network, Time Warner, or even Comcast. I mean, I've gone online to do, watch a movie or something, and it's like, $4.95, $5.95. I mean, the plan recently that Comcast was going to do, and theater owners raised a fuss about it, was the movie Tower Heist, which opens this month, starring in the month of November, which stars Eddie Murphy and Ben, what's that guy's name? Ben,
not Stiller.
Stiller, yeah, Stiller.
Is he real?
A pretty good cast, and actually, I do want to see this movie. It looks pretty good. Even has Alan Alda as the bad guy. But Comcast announced that what they were going to do is, with their Xfinity services, offer this on demand. A family could watch this movie for, you ready? How much do you think it would be? It was a movie that came out. They were going to put it out, I think, like the following week after the movie hit theaters, or maybe even, I want to say, maybe even within the next couple of days.
Following week, going to be streamed to your house. When you say family, because I'm thinking, how can you determine whether it's one person versus five in that room?
Well, I'm just saying.
Okay.
They're marketing it that way. So, your whole family can watch. Invite your friends over.
I would throw it at $20.
Try 60.
No. There's no way. That movie can't be that good. No way.
Yeah, they were going to try and do it that way. But theater owners were the ones that said, "Wait a minute, what are you doing?" Comcast, which is or Xfinity, which is owned by NBC, or they own NBC, or along that route. They changed their plans. They're not doing that now. But I mean, is that what it's going to come down to?
I just they're throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. Still, everybody. I mean, because that's where we came from with the whole Netflix. I'm sorry,
Yeah. Well, YouTube is still doing this. YouTube is still planning on providing now first-run content. Basically, content that's created for viewing in longer format. They'll still have amateur, but YouTube is re-looking at the structure. They've got a new way to upload your videos now as well, but they're really kind of changing and developing. And are they going to develop into a company that's out of touch? Remember 12 seconds?
Yeah.
I mean, what a neat concept. I liked it. It never caught on. Funny thing is, I just saw something the other day. There's now a 15-second service.
I thought there was a 14 as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, things don't go away. They just meld and kind of warp into different services.
Yeah. Hey, before I forget, I wanted to mention this when I was talking about Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. There is, and you're going to have to check your local listings on this, because, again, I don't have a local television. I hope it's going to be available on the internet from PBS at some point. But there's a Steve Jobs biography, documentary, whatever. It should be on PBS, I believe, on November the 6th. But again, check your local listings. It's supposed to be pretty good, maybe a little raw, pretty honest and straightforward.
Huh. All right. We'll have to take a look for that. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what smartphone are you using now?
I'm still on the, let's see, I got to give you the full official long name. Sprint Epic 4G, Samsung Galaxy S.
So now, are you getting the 4G speeds? Have you been able to see a difference between going online and downloading something?
No, and here's why. Here in our area, in the Tucson metropolitan area, the only company that's actively providing 4G service is Verizon, and I'm not on Verizon. Are you on Verizon?
Yes.
Okay, do you have a 4G phone?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm using the Epic.
That's probably why you're not experiencing 4G speeds, Andy.
Well, no, I knew I wasn't getting it. I was wondering if you were in your area, because I believe you were in an area that was supposedly getting it. That's why I was kind of surprised.
I hadn't heard. I mean, everybody's saying, "Oh, we're going to get it, AT&T and Sprint," but who knows when.
I know I had to send our Zoom tablet back in. We had to send that back in so that they could do something to it to make it 4G, supposedly. I think my boss just wanted it back and didn't know how to ask for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He's kind of a tool.
Taking back the tablet.
It's like, just tell me. Just say, I want the tablet back. Don't come up with some kind of lie.
Speaking of tablets. Let's see. Let me flip over my little page here so I can get the information. Let me go to something that I'm not really all excited about. I'll just mention it.
All right.
I just read a story about HP, it's working, I guess, with Best Buy, where they have a bundle where if you buy, let's see, this deal kicks off on November the 1st on Tuesday for online purchases, and will be available in store on November the 4th. And for what it's worth, everybody, I'm getting this information off of PCMag.com. Anybody who buys a compact laptop, because compact is owned by HP, okay, or a compact desktop, or an all-in-one computer, will also be provided with the option to purchase a 32-gigabyte touchpad for $150.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad, but what happened to all these HP touchpads that were gone? I thought they were gone. Didn't exist anymore.
They were going to go, and then they decided to kind of stick around and try something else. So they weren't sure they were going to give it up. And then they've had the change at the top of the company. So does that change mean that they're going to rethink their leaving the consumer market, which I hope is the case. I hope they stick around. In my opinion, they build pretty good laptops. For that price point, I think that it's a good deal.
Yeah, those lion sons. Anyway, with RIM, we've got the BlackBerry Playbook coming up. Apparently, at specific retailers, and in one story I'm reading off the Huffington Post, it says CDW, CompuCom, PC Mall, and others. Apparently, they have a deal now, or will have a deal, where if you buy two, that's right, 2 BlackBerry Playbooks, you get the third one free. From now through the end of the year.
Well, BlackBerry is having some issues with its update, its OS update, and apparently they were gonna push that update, but then they decided, no, we're gonna wait until we have really the best solution, and they announced that they were holding off this week. So,
I looked at it at the Playbook, and I'm like, have you seen it up close or used it at all or anything? Or?
No, the only ones I've seen up close were the ViewSonic and the Motorola Zoom. That's it, and the iPad, of course. But that's been about it.
Yeah, this whole Playbook thing. Let's see, Best Buy, Staples, Office Depot, maybe. They're trying to. Apparently, they're looking at again trying to knock off a couple $100 off the price. I don't know. We'll see where this thing goes. RIM. Everybody's been talking down RIM all week anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, I tell you what. I wanted to talk a little bit about smartphone technology. Quick break. Come back. Mario Armstrong from who's actually representing MasterCard, who's going to tell us a little bit about computer. I should say phone security. When it comes to your handheld devices now, there's so much that you can do with these, including going to the store and just using your phone to pay for your purchase. I don't know if you've heard about this, or maybe Google Wallet. But now, I don't want to say the future is here, but many people have concerns when it comes to just how safe it is. When we come back, our discussion with Mario Armstrong on Tech Talk Radio. If you were to look at my wallet, you would probably think, wow, this guy never empties it. It's full of receipts. It doesn't fit properly in my back pocket. And it's funny how many times I will leave it somewhere. But the one thing that I always have with me is my smartphone. And this is becoming a regular problem. People look at their smartphones almost like they have their wallets. And how much of it is going to merge into your smartphone? And on the line with us is somebody who's going to tell us all about it, Mario Armstrong, to tell us how we see this all merging into our digital life. Mario, thanks for coming on.
It's my pleasure, Andy. Thanks for having me, man. It's a really great topic to talk about.
It really is. We're seeing some exciting things happening with this. Many people may have not heard about Google Wallet yet. Can you tell us what this is all about?
Yeah, essentially, it's a mobile application. Many people are familiar with having an app on a smartphone. So it's a mobile app that will be on your smartphone, and it basically turns your phone into this digital wallet. And then that phone leverages and uses the MasterCard PayPass technology so that you can basically take your phone and tap and pay at different merchants, like 150,000 in the U.S., close to like 300,000 places globally. But that's essentially what it does. It's an app that then holds your credit cards and rewards programs and all those loyalty cards from all those membership places and the grocery stores and all of those things all inside of your phone, so that you can basically have a whole new shopping experience.
Well, now we've heard of problems with credit cards where people go to an unmanned kind of device where they put their credit card in, and next thing you know, they're not really putting it in that device. Somebody's striping it and getting their information.
Right.
How this is really kind of a way to prevent some of that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Actually, that's a really good point. Yeah, you're talking about how people can actually steal credit card information off of the credit card itself. When it's swiped against the unit that's been tampered with to pull that data. And so you're absolutely right. I mean, some people, and I agree with this, have suggested that this is actually more secure. And I took a second and had to think about that for a second. I was like, you know what? They're actually right. Because number one, it's not, if I lose my credit card, I may not recognize that for quite some time. But if I lose my smartphone, I'm going to know pretty fast. In fact, I saw a recent survey from First Data that said that if you lose the individual that loses a credit card doesn't know probably for about 8 hours, but the person that loses a cell phone knows in like 4 minutes.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Absolutely right. But, on the security issue, because that is, a thing that they had to think through and really make sure that they had it right. So really, it's kind of 4 levels of security. So number one, you should be putting a PIN code on your phone, number one.
Right.
Number two, to run the app, you have to then enter in a PIN code. And then number three, within the phone itself, the actual chipset, something called the secure element. And the secure element is basically a way of holding the data and the information in a very hard-to-crack, tamper-proof. If it gets tampered, it kind of self-destructs. In the actual machine. And then the last thing I would say is you're going to have the same protection that you would normally have with any other credit card. So if someone was to swipe the phone and use it for some reason, you would still have the same liability protections that you get today on the credit card. But I do think it's safer and more secure for not only the reason that you mentioned, but also for the reason of just, if I misplace it. I was in the Amtrak train the other day, and the Amtrak conductor, or not the conductor, but the guy in the cafe car, was actually asking me what my name was because he had 3 credit cards by his register, and he didn't know who they belonged to. And later, like 5 minutes later, I hear the guy saying names over the Amtrak PA system, saying, "Come to the cafe car if this is your name." He didn't say what it was. He just said, "Come to the cafe car if this is your name." And so 2 other people left their credit cards.
Do you think this is going to kind of change the way we shop when we go to even maybe a grocery store or even a restaurant, rather than just over-the-counter type of purchases? Maybe just while we're shopping in the store, we can actually get prices, buy things. Is our smartphone going to help us in that way?
Yeah, that's a good question, Andy, because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, how's it going to impact your listeners? How's it going to impact the everyday folks that may be using this for a shopping experience? And that's what's really kind of has me kind of excited about it, because this really is the first time that we're really getting a look at what mobile payments is going to look like in the future. And
right.
The future meaning now. The reason why this thing is like now is because of what you just brought up. You have, using that PayPass technology that's already there, you're going to be able to go to over 150,000 places. So you could go to Macy's, you could go to places like Best Buy, you can go to other places like CVS and stuff. But to get to your point about like shopping, you're absolutely right, because one of the things, Andy, that this will do, this technology communicating with PayPass, is that it'll be a two-way street now. So if I walk into a retailer, I could get hit with when I go to checkout, I could get hit with a coupon right then and there and redeem that coupon, tap and pay, and redeem that coupon right on the spot. So I think this is big for merchants. I think this is going to be big for small business as well as big business, to be able to understand how this NFC technology works and how to communicate to our phones so that we are getting better deals and a better shopping experience.
Now, you mentioned NFC. What does that relate to?
So that relates to something called near-field communications, and it's a technology that's been around, if you think about it, like Bluetooth. Bluetooth is a communications technology that's been around for several years. NFC is the ability to send and receive radio signals between devices. So in this case, MasterCard has this PayPass infrastructure that's already out there that you can just basically take your phone. Your phone has to have an NFC chip. So the phone has to be NFC enabled. But assuming that it is, or you could get one of these you can get a sticker put on your phone if you want that as well.
Right.
But the new technology is, embedding it inside the phone so that the NFC chip can talk to these PayPass terminals.
Do we already see some devices with this enabled in them?
Yes, only one right now, though. So Samsung has come out with the Nexus S, and it's a 4G phone. It runs right now on Sprint. But, it's going to be running the Android operating system, which I know you know about.
Oh, yeah.
Big operating system for mobile devices. So other manufacturers, Andy, right now other manufacturers are like, oh, come on, Samsung beat us to the punch. We got to get on there, too, So the other manufacturers are not going to want to be left out. But right now, if you wanted to do this today, you could. You just have to have the Samsung Nexus S on Sprint.
So our credit cards aren't going away. I mean, my MasterCard is not. It's not going to go from plastic to the digital device. I can see my mom kicking and screaming all the way home.
Right?
I mean, people will still have this ability.
No, that's right. No, we don't want to scare people. That's a good point, man. Because some people have to take movements to the future in a comfortable stride. And you're obviously doing a show, Tech Talk Radio. So I would I expect you to be leading edge. I expect you to be an early adopter. But you're right. Not everybody else is going to be as tech savvy as Andy. But so you're right in that sense. You're not going to get rid of that right away anytime soon. But you will start to see this. I've been testing it out for a while to kind of see how merchants even react to it.
Yeah.
And in some places, they're not even shocked anymore. It's like they've become so used to this whole PayPass technology, whether it's on like a key fob or whether it's on a sticker. They're kind of used to it. I did it in New York just yesterday and showed up at a Duane Reade and swiped the phone across the thing, and she looked at me like it was just any other transaction any other day of the week. So I do think it's going to, once you see these phones out in the market more, certainly people will become more used to seeing them, and then you'll see more people using them.
So now it's a cash, check, credit, debit, or phone.
It's funny you say that because I was in a restaurant yesterday having dinner with my business partner, and the lady, and I was like, we're ready for the check, and she comes back, and she the credit card was inside the billfold, and she said, is it credit or cash? She couldn't see it right away. I said, well, it could be phone. That didn't go over too well. She was kind of confused, like, what do you mean? So I had to explain it to her, in the near future, well, I said, in the near future, because this is available now, but in the near future, I do foresee being in a restaurant and being able to use this type of technology at your table. So you might be able to show up, go to your table, and use that same technology to order your food, to order your drinks, and then even, tap and pay, and keep going.
Plus eliminates the receipts because the receipt could then be stored in the phone. So my wallet would be thin. It would be great. I would love it.
Dude, my wallet, I have one of these tight jeans, I'm trying to be fashionably correct. You can't see that right now on radio. But I have these skinny jeans on, and my wallet sticks out like 3 blocks back because I got all these receipts and stuff in it. But, you bring up a good point, though, Andy, because you will have, one of the things that I like about it is you do have that history of your payments in the phone, because it takes advantage of not only that app, but then Citi has an app in there called In Control. So you're going to see banks developing apps that will help you manage your money on your device better, like alerts. Wouldn't it be great if you were going to go out and for that month, you didn't want to spend any more than $300 going out to eat or something like that, or $200 going out to eat. So you could set limits within these apps. And so as you're spending, you're getting that information. And if you get close to or go over that limit, you'll get an alert. And I think that's just great, man, to keep us in check and to help us save and better track our finances.
Now, can we get more information at MasterCard?
Yeah, I think you can go right onto MasterCard.com to get more information. We also have some blog posts on our website at MarioArmstrong.com.
There you go.
And there's a couple of other places that are, following this. This is big, though, man. I'm so glad that you're, like, in front of this, and you're one of the first kind of bringing this information out to your listeners, because this is a big technology. It's going to really change the shopping experience, and we got to get people up to speed and educated about how this impacts them now.
Sounds great. Mario Armstrong, thanks for talking to us here on Tech Talk Radio. You have a wonderful day.
You too, Andy. Appreciate it.
And we're back with Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
Don Slick.
And thank you for being here. Visit us on the web at TechtalkRadio.com. We have a pretty active forum as well. You can join that, TechtalkRadio.com/forums, or even check out our blog, which has more updating going on. If you'd like to be a part of the Tech Talk Radio family and enter the blogosphere with us, if you will, feel free to drop us a line at Tech Talk Radio. You can find it on our About Us page. All right, so Slick, we're coming up to the new year. We're coming up to the holiday season. Everybody seems like they're ramping up for, Black Friday. Target announced this past week that they're going to be opening the doors at midnight on Black Friday. So, trying to get a jump on all the sales. I'm trying to think, what is good? Somebody asked me the other day, what is going to be the big seller this year?
I don't think anybody even really has the answer, because I've been thinking about it. Now, wait a minute. When is Black? Because I just opened up my calendar, because the year. Somebody said something to me, I guess, a couple of days ago. But the year's already gone by fast, because we were talking about Halloween, and I didn't think about it. I was like, not really. But then, okay, maybe it has. Here we are at the end of October, heading into November. So help me out with this, because I never seem to remember it. So Thanksgiving is on the fourth Thursday of November? Is that right?
Yeah, it would be. I don't know. Is it the 17th or the 24th?
I think it's the 24th.
All right. So then Black Friday would be the 25th.
Okay, so I'm looking at the calendar now to get a better grip on this, and boy, we're already, like you said, we're already 4 weeks away from Black Friday. It didn't dawn on me until just a moment like that. Forget Thanksgiving. You can tell what my priorities are. People are looking at Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year. I'm looking at Black Friday.
All right, what do you think is going to be the big seller? I mean, you're looking at the trends of the market. Last year people were saying, it's going to be high definition televisions. The prices did come way down. I don't know if they saw that kind of shopping that they really wanted to have for the Black Friday.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be tablets. It's got to be something. It's going to have to be something unusual. Maybe even, I think it's too late. I believe it's too late for somebody to even put something out, another manufacturer to go, and here's the device for the season. Here's what you got to have for Christmas or whatever. I think it's too late for that. I don't know why. I just feel that. I don't really have a reason. Maybe it'll be something unusual like, an Apple TV, some kind of little thing. Nothing major, nothing big. Something like the Roku or something. I know it sounds strange, but that's what I feel. That's what I feel is going to be the item. Something to stream.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you on tablets, because I think there's been so much in the marketplace now about tablets and the deals that you're getting on tablets. We talked about that just before the break, where that's going. I could see tablets being a big seller if they get them under the $200 price point. If it starts to be, where you can go pick up a tablet for $150, I think people will probably jump on that. And I mean, we've already seen Android versions of tablets for, from like Sylvania, I think is one of them. They had them for $100. So I think if you can find some of those names, bringing them down to about $150, we might see that. I think another area we may see some growth in this year is in the prepaid cell phone industry.
Really?
Yeah, I think for people who maybe don't have a smartphone, that want a smartphone, will be going to Boost, Virgin, or any of the other companies, I should say, that have those out, and spend the money on these smartphones and go with a prepaid service, because obviously now Sprint just announced that they were going to be changing their structure. They've been doing this Simply Everything plan. Now, if you have a tablet, if you have a net device that allows you to get on the internet, that's going to change. You're now going to have caps on that. Your smartphone's still going to be okay, but there's going to be taps everywhere else. If your smartphone extends and reaches out to other devices and sends out, like a Wi-Fi signal, that will also be capped. So I don't know. I think people are kind of moving away from that. They're maybe looking at a monthly structure that's a little cheaper. Honestly, a lot of us don't understand why they don't do that. But I think it all comes down to phone selection. People, maybe want to have the iPhone, and it's not available on a prepaid yet, at least from what I understand. So I think that might be a big seller. Obviously, games going to be huge this year. I still don't see consoles doing it. Possibly if Microsoft brings the Xbox 360 down even a little more, it could. But if you look at the 4 gigabyte Xbox 360 versus the 20 or the 250 gigabyte, there's a lot of, I don't know. I don't like the fact you don't get HDMI on it. I would rather have that feature. So I don't know. I really kind of wonder about that. Where we're going to be going with that.
There's one other category that just came to mind, and I wonder why I didn't think about it before. Maybe just because I was just kind of surprised and blew it off. Ebook readers. Now, bear with me, hang with me, stay with me for a minute. The Amazon and the Nook ebook readers, the cheaper ones, I mean, they got below $100. I mean, they're not the greatest devices in the world. They're really not. But the ones below $100, they're throwaway gifts. I mean, they could be throwaway gifts. Hey, Merry Christmas! I got you an ebook reader. Costs $100. Be happy. No?
No, I don't know. You know what my daughter wants? She wants a guitar.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, wow, you want something that's not electronic? I think that's a first.
Well, does she want an electric guitar or does she want an acoustic guitar?
She want an acoustic guitar, just to play.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe the kids still want some of the fun things to play with, and maybe being in front of the computer is more like work now. So they pull away from that.
They're grown up with it too much now. Yeah.
Yeah. The Roku idea or the Western Digital Live WD Live is also pretty good. The price point's good. It can enable your television to be an internet connected device. With that though, people will be going, how do I hook it up? Webcams have come way down in price. I think that's another one. So next week on the show, we'll kind of go through some of the newer products that are available, or even announce that they will be available for the Black Friday shopper, or even the Cyber Monday shopper, which is the Monday following Black Friday, and see if maybe we can come up with some of our favorites out of that list, whether it be webcams, external audio cards, which are real popular, laptops, tablets, netbooks, and other devices too. So we'll do that next week on the show. All right?
All right.
Sounds good. This is Tech Talk Radio, wrapping up another week. You can reach us at techtalkradio.com. I'm Andy Taylor.
That's Lick.
Have yourself a wonderful week.